right, so here we are with our garden update for the week. It is the 20th of March, and as you can see right overhead me here, I installed this sunshade here. So this is 30%. So as you can see, it still lets the sun through, so the plants are still going to get plenty of sun they need to produce. It's enough shade that it's actually like 10 degrees cooler under here, maybe even 15. When you get out to the other side, it's a lot hotter. So with that being said, what I do plan on doing is I'm gonna get another one of these, and I'm gonna finish this whole side of the house. So it's shade. Again, enough sun gets through. Our plants are doing really good. So let's do a quick walkthrough here, right? Here we've got some sweet peas. And if you look right there, that is a marigold. Marigold. Sweet peas, marigold, sweet peas, sweet pea marigold, and a marigold. Moving on down here, here we have Swiss chard. Then here we have Swiss chard, and we have a tomato that I did not plant. So it was in the soil from before. I don't know if there was a seed, if it was in the compost, but for some reason, I got a tomato there. Then over here, we have another huge Swiss chard. This one's doing beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful leaves. Beautiful plant. That's the one that sprouted. That's okay. Then over here, I planted Swiss chard here, and I got a tomato. And this tomato is doing really good. So then over here, we got a few more tomato sprouts. We got a few more tomato sprouts and some weeds. Get rid of those. And then over here, that's a red pepper. Two of them, red or, yeah, the red or yellow. Not really sure, I have to look again. Then over here, we have a jalapeno. Two jalapenos sprouting up in this one. One right there, one right there. Then over here, we got another two jalapenos. Then over here, we have another two jalapenos. So we got 6 jalapeno plants, 2 bell peppers. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got like 7 tomatoes, 3 Swiss chards. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sweet peas and like 4 marigolds. So that'll help keep the bugs away. And if you look on the bottom here, you see how there's these wet rings right there? Well, that's because of this bad boy right here. Right? As you can see, I got my silicone seal up here. Still has like a 24 hours, a little bit of time to dry, but it's pretty dry right there. And so that's to keep the mosquitoes from getting into our water tank. A 32-gallon garbage can. We got our solar pump there. This thing it keeps them watered. So it keeps these things moist. And as you can see, they are profiting from it. Look at the size of this Swiss chard, this tomato. They're doing great over here. Our cucumbers, they're in Davy Jones's locker. I got to figure out what's going on with them. But moving on, here we have, I'm not sure if this is the cantaloupe or the honeydew. I think this is the cantaloupe. But as you can see, we got a lot of sprouts. And here we got our second leaves on this one. Then here we have our sprinkler emitter that we installed. That's right. We installed this nice little sprinkler system here. Over here, we got some marigolds popping up. Got like, what, 4? Nothing with the strawberries yet, but not terribly surprising. Then over here, I think this is the cantaloupe. Or this could be the honeydew. But this one here is doing fantastic. Again, another emitter just for this one right here. When these get a little bit bigger, I'm going to put the red mulch inside the tire too. So that'll help keep the moisture. And over here, we got our pumpkin. I got to put some new seeds in. This thing's been attacked by something. So not doing too good. So we're going to reseed here. So far, we're going to reseed a couple Swiss chard and the pumpkin. But other than that, everything's, doing good. Then over here, this one here, we got a couple marigolds and something. I'm not sure what that is, but this soil, for whatever reason, is just not that good. But then coming over in here, these are our Brussels sprouts. Now, eventually I'm going to have to thin those out, but those seeds are so small that it's just a nightmare. I'll put a couple more up in here. We got some growing over here as well. Then in the back row here, you can see our sunflowers. They're just sprouting up like crazy. And then here, this is our spaghetti squash. And we have 14 corn stalks sprouted out. There's one right there, one right there. There's a tiny one right there. there. So our corn is sprouting up nicely. And but as you can see, I put in these sprinkler emitters, so it makes it a lot easier. I can water everything at once. It's a pretty easy kit to put together. I'll probably talk about the kit at a later date. I plan on getting another one of these kits, the sprinkler kits, and like 3 more of the solar kits. I like this. I want to have both options available to me. Yeah, and so now none of our summer squash, we planted yellow zucchini and scallop. None of that sprouted. Neither did our butternut. So we're going to be reseeding those. We're going to be reseeding our pumpkin because they're just not looking good. And then the other thing that I may do is I may put between the sunflower and the squash, I may put in like a whole bunch of radishes over there, because the radishes, I already got one in the refrigerator. So, you know, they take like 25 days and they're good. So we already got some radishes. But so far, everything is really coming together. Oh, and as you can see, I did put the red mulch down. I'm hoping to keep a lot of the weeds out of here. That corner, I still got to work with that corner. There's a concrete block there. Now, one thing though, a lot of these weeds that were over here, they were London Rocket and Mulva and a little bit of purslane, which are all technically all edible, but I just threw them in this compost pile here. So we're gonna hopefully get that to break down. But I do plan on finishing this whole area with the red mulch. So it's gonna be my main point for that is I don't want it to get muddy over here. So I don't want it to get muddy, and I want to keep the weeds like to a minimum. And so I'm gonna get more of this red mulch probably next payday, and we're gonna finish the job here. We're gonna get this all mulched out. This allegedly won't lose its color for a year, so that's pretty cool. And then next year we'll just, you know, build up on top of it. Because all it's going to do is eventually it's just going to break down, and it's going to make better soil over on this side anyway. But another reason that I want to get it down like the whole way is I just saw some, but there are still chunks of glass coming up to the surface, and I'm trying to avoid having all the glass over here. Now, sadly, we do have a lot of ant lions over here, but they're gonna have to get covered up, so they're gonna have to move. Yeah, I mean, I like ant lions. They're pretty beneficial for the most part. No, not really. They're kind of, you know, they kill ants, but as you can see, there's just tons of ant lion hills just all over. So I got no ants over here, which is a good thing, but they're not getting in the house. But I think that the red bricks from the house and the red mulch is going to make for a nice look over here. Oh yeah, and then for these right here, I actually picked up a whole bunch of wildflowers, and my plan is to probably right here, probably right in this area here, I'm gonna get one of the, not the bamboo, but the metal, like the tiki torches, possibly the solar one, because like I said, enough sun does get through here that it lights it up. And there may be a small gap right here anyway. And but I'm thinking that, but what I want to get is one of the citronella emitting ones. And so then that way, hopefully it'll keep the mosquitoes away from in here. But I'm going to put wildflowers in there, so then that way, hopefully we'll get that'll help bring the pollinators into this side. Although, if I get if enough of these bloom at once, the pollinators shouldn't be an issue, right? Because, of course, there we do have our pomegranate. It's actually starting to get pretty green. We're going to go out there and we're going to look at that side here in just a minute. But, yeah, things are looking pretty good. But again, we are going to be reseeding today because I do want to get those summer squash growing, as well as the butternut. I mean, my family loves the spaghetti squash, but, you know, squash in general is really good. And when you get it fresh like this, it's pretty hardy, you know, and they'll last quite a while. They'll last, you know, you got to figure by the time you buy them in the store, they've already been sitting in the supply chain for quite a while. So any that we harvest, it's going to be fairly good. And I figure I should, you know, if I get enough plants growing in there, I don't want more than any, like, really, like 2 of each of like the zucchini and the scalp and everything. But having 2 plants in there, yeah, they're going to take up a lot of room on that ground base. But the idea is that it will not only keep the weeds at bay, but it should also help keep the moisture underneath in the soil. I am considering, if they get big enough, to mulch in there. But if their job and you get those nice big leaves, then it should keep, you know, the moisture in there from evaporating too much, because as it evaporates, it's going to be catching the bottom of those leaves. And so essentially, you know, you're gonna have that osmosis from the leaves to absorb a little bit more of the water, so it won't be a complete waste. But anyway, let's go look out front. Okay, so here we're out front, and we're gonna look at that pump. So as you can see here, this thing is just coming alive, and this was a transplant. Now this branch here, I think I mentioned it last time, but this one's got to go. It's just a dead branch, and so we're going to prune that out later on. The only thing is, I'm waiting until later on in the season so that I know exactly where all the dead branches are, so I can start, like, see, like this one might be dead too. But what I'm going to do is this one also. But I'm gonna get rid of all the dead branches, so we just have the live tree, and then hopefully that should help it grow a little bit more efficiently. But now over here we have our new addition. This is a Surecrop nectarine. We just put this in the other day. We do have some blossoms on it, although I doubt we're gonna get anything. Again, I just bought this, and then as you can see here, we do have our PVC pipe here. So when we water, we can just water in there, and then it goes down, and it's actually, it's going to moisten under the root bed. So because I put the pipe in, and then I backfilled the soil up, and then I put the tree in, and then we filled it with soil and put the mulch on the top. So hopefully that mulch will help keep it moist, because the first year is the most critical with these. You got to make sure they stay nice and moist the first year. And then you just got to, and then going forward, you just got to keep them watered like twice a week. So, all right, now over here, not a lot of excitement, but over here, we have our 2 blackberries in there right now. I do plan on getting a couple more, at least to fill in, like, I would like to have at least 4 in on this side. This area here, I'm probably gonna do something else with, but I want to brick this area off here, right? And then I'm gonna remove most of this soil on the outside, because this is the natural soil. You can see lots of London Rocket here. Here we got our parsnips, and we got a couple lowly beets there, kind of sad looking beets. But then of course the radishes we harvested, they came out pretty good, but this dirt is really rough. It does grow, but I think that it'll be better if I'm gonna section it off here. I'm gonna put in a brick like these ones right here, these style bricks, and I'm gonna bring them down here. See where this separates right here? We're gonna make a wall right there, and then I'm gonna till up most of this, hand till, but I'm gonna get most of this side up here, right? And then I'm gonna get some of the round bricks to go around the blackberries. So we'll have the round bricks around the blackberries, and then on this side over here, we're going to I don't know if I'm not sure if I'm actually going to go with the route of just using this as a wildflower bed, or if I'm actually going to use it for vegetables. But either way, I'm going to get the better dirt in here. So we're gonna dig this down about maybe a foot, and then we're gonna fill it back up with good soil. And then of course over here we'll have our 4 blackberries. So we're gonna make another. We're gonna have the round. We'll have the round ones around there, the round stones, and then we can do whatever we need in there. So, but yeah, that's what's going on out here in the front. Again, we got like 2 beets, maybe 1 tiny one there. So don't plan on getting a lot of beets. See, this is purslane. It's edible. But then we have all these other weeds, and that's the reason why I want to get rid of this top dirt, so I get rid of all these weeds. And then, oh yeah, these ones here always got to come up. These are the puncture vine, and those things need to come up and dry out and die before. You want to kill these. If you have these, you want to get them when they're young like this, before they put on their flowers. Just let them dry out and die. Those things are a nuisance. Don't have a lot left in here, thank God, but those things, they get in my dog's paws, and it's just a real. Hey, but that's it for this week's update. Again, a lot of stuff is happening. I'm pretty happy so far with the overall progress that we're making here. And this is the desert. Again, it's March 20th. We're already getting into the 90s, so it's going to be hot. So that's why I think getting that second sunshade up over on this side is going to be huge help. Oh yeah, let's check this out real fast. Oh, here. So I turned that one off. I had to check a couple of the emitters because a couple of the emitters were not working quite right. The pumpkin and one of the in here. There we go. They weren't twisted quite right, but as you can see, this way I'm able to water everything at once. Looks like I had to open up the last one a little bit, but it did come with like these red ones that shot out in like streams, and I didn't really like what they were doing because it was putting a lot of water everywhere, but it was like not really getting the beds wet. So, but I already watered them this morning, so I just want to show you, that the sprinkler system does in fact work, and it's a pretty nice sprinkler system. So, but yeah, that's it for the week. Hey, hope you're doing some gardening too, because again, I think honestly, I feel that these small victory gardens are going to be the way of the future again. We used them in World War II. That's where they coined the term the victory garden, and I think that we're at the point where I think that these little victory gardens, each individual citizen taking their own responsibility and growing a little bit of food by themselves, is going to make a big difference on the supply chain. Whether good or bad, whether you agree with it or not, we have a lot more people in this country right now than we should. The population just really sprung up with all of the people that are from other countries that are here right now. And whether you agree with it or not, they're here. And they're going to be putting a burden on the food chain. So, and let's be honest, I don't think it's going to get a whole lot better before it's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. So, and I really think that these small victory gardens that you can do yourself is the way of the future. And I think it can really help because, if you don't have to buy everything at the market, if you have some stuff that you don't have to buy, it's going to save you some money, and it's going to, leave it there for the other people that actually do need it. So, all right, till next time, keep prepping.